I lit the last candle and stepped back. Okay, Daniel, I muttered to myself, don't mess this up. The table looked perfect. Her favorite white candles. The blue plates we bought on our honeymoon. The pasta was still warm on the stove. Happy anniversary, Myra, I practiced softly. I know things have been hard, but we can fix this. I checked the clock. 7:58 p.m. She'll be here, I whispered. At 8:15, I grabbed my phone and called her. It rang. No answer. I tried again. Still nothing. She's probably driving, I told myself. By 8:45, the pasta had cooled. I called again. Voicemail. Myra, hey, it's me. I know you're busy, but it's our anniversary. Dinner's ready. I'm waiting. Waiting. I hated that word. At 9:30, I texted her. Are you close? No reply. I stayed at the cake on the table. Chocolate. Her favorite. I stayed up until 2 a.m. baking this, I said to the empty apartment. At least text me. 10:17 p.m. I called again. Straight to voicemail. Something twisted inside my chest. She wouldn't forget, I said. Not this. But a quiet voice in my head whispered, she's forgotten bigger things. I opened social media without thinking. The first thing I saw was a story tagged at the Skylux rooftop bar. I froze. I tapped it. Music blasted from the video. Laughter. Champagne glasses clinking. Then I saw her. Myra. She was smiling. Not the tired smile she gave me lately. Not the forced one. A real smile. She stood beside Adrian Keller. He had his arm around her waist. Someone shouted in the video, "Happy birthday, Mr. Keller." Adrian laughed. Tonight, we celebrate success. Myra leaned closer to him. My stomach dropped. No, I whispered. No, no. I replayed it. Maybe I misunderstood. But her hand was on his chest. And she looked happy. Happier than she'd looked with me in months. I called her again. This time she picked up. What? She snapped over loud music. What? I repeated. Myra, it's our anniversary. I told you I had something important tonight. More important than us. She sighed. Daniel, please don't start. Don't start. I've been waiting for you since 7. I'm at my boss's birthday. I can't just leave. You could have told me. I did tell you. You just don't listen. I felt heat rise to my face. You said you had work. This is work. At a rooftop bar. With champagne. Networking matters, Daniel. Not everything is about candles and pasta. Her words stung. So I'm embarrassing you now. I asked quietly. I didn't say that. You didn't have to. There was a pause. Then Adrian's voice came faintly through the phone. Myra, we're cutting the cake. She covered the phone. I still heard him laugh. I have to go, she said. Myra. She hung up. I stood there staring at my reflection in the dark window. Candles and pasta, I repeated. I looked at the table I had set with shaking hands. By midnight, the candles had melted down into pools of wax. I didn't turn on the lights. I just sat there. At 1:12 a.m., I called again. No answer. At 1:47 a.m., I stopped calling. At exactly 2:03 a.m., I heard the door unlock. She walked in, heels clicking against the floor. You're still up? She asked, surprised. I stood slowly. Yeah, I'm still up. She tossed her purse onto the couch. You didn't have to wait. I laughed once. It sounded broken. It's our anniversary. She kicked off her shoes. I told you tonight was important. I stepped closer. The smell hit me first. Sweet. Expensive. Not her usual perfume. You smell different, I said. It's probably the restaurant. It's a bar. She crossed her arms. Are you interrogating me now? I saw the video. Her face tightened. So you're spying on me. It was public. It's not what you think. What am I supposed to think? I asked. You're smiling next to him like I don't exist. He's my boss. He had his arm around you. It was a party. I gestured toward the table. This was a party too. For us. She glanced at the candles, the cold pasta, the untouched cake. You're overreacting, she said flatly. Am I? Yes. You're being insecure again. That word hit me hard. Insecure, I repeated. I can't keep reassuring you every second, Daniel. I have a career. And I have a wife, I shot back. She grabbed her purse. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. That's it. I asked. What do you want from me? I wanted tonight, I said softly. Just tonight. She didn't answer. She walked past me toward the bedroom. I stood alone in the dim light. After a moment, I walked to the table and picked up the cake knife. Happy anniversary, I whispered to the empty chair across from me. I finally understood something as I stared at that untouched slice. Tonight wasn't just about a missed dinner. It was about realizing I might already be alone. I woke up before Myra the next morning. I stood in the kitchen making coffee when she walked in. Morning, she said, like nothing had happened. Morning, I replied. She opened the fridge. You're quiet. I'm thinking. About what? You know what? She sighed. Daniel, not again. I just want honesty. I didn't lie. You didn't tell me the truth either. She rolled her eyes. You're being insecure again. That word hit me harder than it should have. Insecure, I repeated slowly. Yes, you always assume the worst. I stayed at my coffee. My dad used to say that to me. She looked annoyed. What does that have to do with this? He said I was insecure when I asked why he came home late. Daniel. He left a year later, I finished quietly. She grabbed her back. I'm not your father. Stop comparing. Then don't give me reasons to doubt you. She walked toward the door. I have work. We'll talk later. The door shut before I could answer. At work, I couldn't focus. Numbers blurred on my screen. Around noon, Marcus dropped into the chair across from me. You look terrible, he said. Thanks. No, seriously. What happened? I hesitated, then said, Myra skipped our anniversary. She went to Adrian's birthday party instead. Marcus leaned back. Adrian Keller. Yeah, the rooftop thing. You saw it too. It was all over social media, he said. Daniel, that wasn't just a work dinner. She said it was networking. Marcus snorted. Rich guys like Adrian don't throw rooftop parties for networking. She works hard. I'm not questioning her work. I'm questioning him. I rubbed my face. I saw him holding her. And she smiled like she used to smile at me. Marcus went quiet. Have you asked her directly? She says I'm insecure. He shook his head. You're not crazy for noticing patterns. What patterns? Powerful boss. Late nights. Fancy parties. Emotional distance at home. You think there's something going on. I think you shouldn't ignore your gut. That word stayed with me all day. Gut. That night, Myra fell asleep early. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand. I stayed at it. Don't, I whispered to myself. It buzzed again. I picked it up. The screen lit up for a second before locking. A notification preview flashed. Last night was special. My chest tightened. The message disappeared. I unlocked her phone. My hands shook. The message thread was empty. Deleted. Why delete it? I whispered. I searched for Adrian's name. Nothing. Too clean. I put the phone back exactly where it was and lay down beside her. I didn't sleep. The next evening, I couldn't hold it in anymore. Myra, I said when she came home, who texted you last night? She froze. What? I saw the notification. You went through my phone. It buzzed. I looked. You had no right. I had a reason. She crossed her arms. You're unbelievable. The message said last night was special. Her jaw tightened. It's not what you think. Then tell me what it is. It was about the event. From who? She hesitated for half a second too long. From my team, she said. Which team member? Why does it matter? Because you deleted it. Silence. Did you? I pressed. She looked away. I delete a lot of messages. Why? Because I don't like clutter. I laughed bitterly. That's convenient. You're twisting everything. Then untwist it. Did Adrian send it? She didn't answer. That's all I need to know, I said. You're exhausting, she snapped. I can't live under suspicion every day. And I can't live in the dark. She grabbed her laptop. I'm done with this conversation. Later that week, I stopped by a cafe near her office to clear my head. I didn't expect to see Elena there. She recognized me first. Daniel, right? Yeah, you Elena. She nodded, nervous. How are you? I've been better. She hesitated. About the party. My heart skipped. What about it? She lowered her voice. You deserve honesty. Then give it to me. She looked toward the door like she expected someone to walk in. Adrian has a pattern, she said carefully. What kind of pattern? He gets close to employees, especially married ones. My stomach dropped. Close how? Late meetings, private dinners, promotions that don't make sense. And Myra. She swallowed. I've seen them together. More than once. Were they? I don't know, she cut in. But it didn't look professional. I felt heat rise in my chest. Why tell me this? Because I've seen Wise come to the office crying before. I couldn't breathe for a moment. Does she know his history? I asked. I think she thinks she's different. I stood up slowly. Thank you for telling me. I'm sorry, she whispered. I walked home in silence. When I entered the apartment, I stopped in front of our wedding photo. I picked it up. In the picture, she was looking at me like I was her whole world. I promised to protect you, I murmured to the photo. I remembered our vows. For better or worse. I set the frame down. For better or worse, I repeated softly. But now I wondered if I was the only one still keeping that promise. I sat on the couch and stared at the wall. For the first time, I didn't think about how to win her back. I thought about something else. What if I stopped fighting for her? I whispered. The question scared me, but it also felt strangely calm. I didn't raise my voice when I confronted her this time. Myra, sit down, I said calmly. She looked surprised. Why are you so serious? Because I know about you and Adrian. Her eyes hardened. There's nothing to know. I spoke to Elena. She went still. Of course you did. I'm not here to scream, I said. I just want the truth. She laughed, but it wasn't kind. You can't handle the truth. Try me. She stepped closer. You really want to know why I go to those parties? Why I stay late? Yes, because I feel alive there. The word hit me, but I stayed steady. And you don't feel alive with me. She hesitated, then said, not anymore. Silence filled the room. So this is about excitement. I asked. It's about growth, she snapped. It's about ambition. And I'm what? Holding you back. You're comfortable, Daniel. Safe. Predictable. I swallowed. Predictable isn't a crime. No, but it's not enough. I felt something crack inside me, but I kept my voice level. Are you in love with him? She looked away. That's not the point. It is to me. She ran a hand through her hair. You can't give me the life he can. There it was. Money. Status. Power. That's what this is about, I said quietly. You don't understand what it feels like to be seen by someone powerful, she continued. He believes in me. I believed in you when you had nothing, I replied. That's different. How? He can open doors for me. Big ones. And what am I? A closed door? She didn't answer. I nodded slowly. Have you slept with him? She flinched. Why does that matter? Because it tells me if this marriage is already over. Tears filled her eyes, but her voice stayed firm. You pushed me away first. That's not an answer. She looked at me for a long moment. I won't apologize for wanting more. I waited for her to say it was a mistake. She didn't. I waited for her to say she chose me. She didn't. Instead, she walked past me. I'm done arguing. I didn't follow her. I didn't beg. I didn't cry. I just stood there and felt something cold settle inside my chest. That night, after she fell asleep, I stepped onto the balcony and called Marcus. She chose him, I said. What happened? He asked. She said I can't give her the life he can. Marcus cursed under his breath. I'm sorry. I need a lawyer. There was a pause. Are you sure? Yes. I know someone. Howard Klein. He's sharp. Send me his number. 10 minutes later, I was on the phone again. Mr. Klein speaking. My name is Daniel Reyes. I was referred by Marcus Lee. What can I help you with, Mr. Reyes? I think my wife is having an affair. I'm sorry to hear that, he said calmly. Do you have proof? Not yet. Start gathering everything. Messages, photos, financial records. Stay calm. I can do calm, I said. Good. Emotional reactions cost money. Strategy wins cases. Strategy. I want to protect myself, I told him. Then stop confronting her, he replied. Observe. Document. Say less. I understand. After I hung up, I opened a new folder on my laptop. I named it simply Evidence. The next day, I receive an email from Adrian's office. Subject, promotion discussion. I almost laughed. When I walked into his office, he stood behind a massive desk. Daniel, he said smoothly, have a seat. I'll stand. He smiled. Suit yourself. You wanted to see me. I've noticed your hard work, he said. You're loyal. Get to the point. He leaned back. There may be opportunities opening soon. Opportunities for what? For people who understand how the world really works. And how does it work? Power rewards those who align with it. I met his gaze. Are you threatening me? He chuckled. No, I'm advising you. About my marriage. He tilted his head. Your personal life is your business. You're a good man, Daniel, he added softly. But good doesn't always win. I felt anger rise, but I kept my face calm. Maybe winning isn't what you think it is. His smile faded slightly. I walked out without shaking his hand. Outside the building, I called Marcus. He tried to intimidate me. I said, that means he's nervous, Marcus replied. About what? There's something you should know, he said. Sophie Grant is investigating his company. The journalist. Yeah, financial irregularities. Misused funds. I stopped walking. Is it serious? Serious enough. I looked back at the tall glass building. You think this connects? I think powerful men make mistakes when they feel untouchable, Marcus said. For the first time in weeks, I felt steady. I wasn't going to fight for her love anymore. I was going to protect myself. And if the truth destroyed him in the process, I wouldn't stop it. That night, I didn't beg. I planned. I didn't tell Myra when I filed for divorce. Mr. Klein handled everything quietly. Stay calm, he reminded me over the phone. Let her react. You remain steady. I will, I said. 2 days later, my phone exploded with calls. I answered on the fourth ring. How dare you? Myra's voice shook. You had me served at work. I thought clarity would help, I replied evenly. In front of my team, Daniel. I didn't choose the timing. The court did. You're overreacting. I don't think I am. This is about a few parties, a few texts. It's about respect. You're throwing away our marriage. You already did that. She went quiet. For the first time, I heard something new in her silence. Fee, you can't do this, she whispered. I already did. She hung up. An hour later, Marcus rushed into my office holding his phone. It's live, he said. What is? Sophie's article. I opened the link. The headline was blunt. Financial misconduct inside Keller Industries. My pulse stayed steady as I read. Misused investor funds. Shell accounts. Internal whistleblowers. Marcus watched me. You okay? I'm fine. You don't sound fine. I feel, Clay. That afternoon, my phone rang again. Adrian. I answered calmly. Yes. You think you're clever, he snapped. I'm not sure what you mean. Don't play dumb with me. I'm not playing anything. You think you did this? He shouted. You think I don't know you've been digging? I didn't have to, I said quietly. There was heavy breathing on the other end. You're making a mistake, he warned. No, I replied. You made several. You're nothing without this company. I was nothing with it. He went silent. You should worry about your own problems, I added. You think this article means anything? I'll crush it. Maybe, I said. Or maybe the truth will. He hung up. That night, Myra came home early. Her eyes were red. Daniel, she said softly. Yes. Can we talk? We are talking. She stepped closer. This article, it's not true, right? I don't work in his finance department. You knew, she accused. I knew there were rumors. Why didn't you warn me? Would you have listened? She didn't answer. I looked at her carefully. The confidence she used to wear like armor was cracking. He told me it was nothing, she whispered. He tells people what they want to hear. She sank into a chair. Investors are pulling out. HR is panicking. That's what happens when foundations are weak. She stared at me. You're so calm. I've had practice. Her voice trembled. This divorce, you can still stop it. Why would I? Because we love each other. I held her gaze. Do we? She hesitated. I made a mistake, she said quickly. He promised things. Promotions. Travel. Opportunities. And you believed him. Yes. At what cost? I didn't think it would go this far. It already had. She wiped her eyes. It wasn't serious. Then why did you delete the messages? Silence. Did you sleep with him? I asked quietly. She closed her eyes. It just happened. The words felt sharp, but they didn't break me this time. Thank you for finally telling me, I said. She looked shocked. That's it. What else is there? Yell at me. Fight for me. I already did that. Her voice cracked. I don't want to lose you. You chose to risk me. The next morning, news alerts flooded my phone. Internal investigation launched. Board members resigning. By afternoon, another update appeared. Adrian Keller taken into custody for questioning. Mark is called immediately. They are arresting him. I saw. Are you satisfied? I thought about it. I'm not celebrating, I said. I'm just not surprised. Later, Elena called me from an unknown number. I gave a statement, she said quietly. I figured you might. I couldn't stay silent anymore. You did the right thing. I hope so. After I hung up, Myra stood in the doorway. They escorted him out in handcuffs, she said. I nodded. He looked at me, she continued. Like I betrayed him. I let out a slow breath. Did you? She didn't answer. Reporters swarmed the building that evening. Videos spread fast. His confident smile was gone, replaced by anger and panic. Myra sat across from me at the kitchen table. I thought he was untouchable, she admitted. No one is. She looked smaller somehow. I ruined everything, she whispered. You made choices. Are you really done with me? Yes. The word felt heavy but honest. She reached for my hand. Please. I pulled it back gently. I don't hate you. That almost makes it worse. I just see you clearly now. And what do you see? Someone who chose ambition over loyalty. Tears rolled down her face. I was blind, she said. Maybe, I replied. But I'm not anymore. For the first time, I wasn't speaking from pain. I was speaking from certainty. Her world was collapsing. His empire was cracking. And I was finally standing steady in the middle of the storm. The judge looked at both of us and said, the divorce is finalized. Just like that. Years of love reduced to a sentence. Outside the courthouse, Myra stood beside me. So this is it? She asked quietly. It is, I replied. She looked thinner. Tired. I lost my job, she said. They are restructuring. I heard. They said my position wasn't necessary anymore. I held her gaze. A lot of positions aren't. She flinched at my tone. And Adrian, she asked. Is facing charges. They froze his accounts. I know. She wrapped her arms around herself. Everything fell apart so fast. It was already falling, I said. You just didn't see it. A week later, she texted me. Can we meet? One last time. I agreed. We met at a small cafe near the park. Neutral ground. She sat across from me, fingers wrapped around a cup she wasn't drinking. I never meant to lose you, she said. I studied her face. You didn't lose me, I replied calmly. You traded me. Her lips trembled. That's not fair. It's accurate. I thought I could have both. Ambition and loyalty. Yes. You chose ambition when they conflicted. She looked down. He made me feel important. I made you feel safe. I know. And that wasn't enough. She wiped her eyes. Do you hate me? No. Then why won't you fight for us? Because I finally fought for me. Silence stretched between us. I thought you'd always wait, she whispered. I used to think that too. She reached across the table but stopped halfway. Is there someone else? No. Then why does it feel like you've moved on already? Because I stopped begging. She closed her eyes. I was stupid, she said. You were tempted. I ruined our future. You changed it, I corrected. She nodded slowly. I hope you find someone who sees your worth. I already did, I said. Her eyes widened slightly. Who? Myself. She let out a shaky breath. I don't deserve your kindness, she murmured. This isn't kindness, I said. It's clarity. When we stood to leave, she hesitated. Goodbye, Daniel. Goodbye, Myra. I didn't look back. A month later, I signed the papers to sell the apartment. Marcus stood beside me as I handed over the keys. You sure about this? He asked. Yes. New city, new business, new life. That's the plan. He grinned. I'm proud of you. Don't get sentimental. Too late. We both laughed. Starting my consulting fame wasn't easy. You're underpricing yourself, Marcus told me one night as we reviewed numbers. I'm building trust first. You're better than you think. I'm starting to believe that. Sophie called me a few days later. Congratulations on the clean break, she said. News travels fast. It's my job. I smiled. How's the investigation world? Busy. Adrian's case is expanding. I'm not surprised. You handled everything with dignity, she added. Not many people would. I just stopped protecting people who hurt me. She paused. Would you like to grab coffee sometime? As friends. Friends sounds good. And maybe more. Eventually. Maybe, I said. But I'm not rushing. I respect that. After we hung up, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Not excitement. Not desperation. Just peace. Months passed. My business grew slowly but steadily. Clients respected me. I respected myself. Then the date came. Our old anniversary. I stood on the balcony of my new apartment. The city lights below felt different from the ones I used to stare at while waiting. I placed a single candle on the small table beside me. I lit it. The flame flickered in the cool air. I remembered that first anniversary dinner. The empty chair. The melting wax. This time, there was no second plate. No phone in my hand. No waiting. I spoke softly into the night. I forgive you, I said, though she wasn't there. Then I added, but more importantly, I forgive myself. For begging. For doubting. For shrinking. The wind brushed against my face. I watched the flame for a long moment. I finally chose myself, I said. And with a steady breath, I blew the candle out. Not in sadness. In peace.